All right, we're back at it again. Once again, it's your boy Cody Martin, and this is Real Talk with Cody. I had some technical difficulties last time, so I had to get off. But I posed the question: your support. Where does your support come from? And this is real simple but serious question, right? Because not all support is good support. Just kind of want to dive straight in. Not all support is good support. So it's according to where does your support come from? We all have different, people that we go to for advice when we're going through things, whether it's relationship, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whatever the case may be. We all got that person that we go to when we're trying to get a little bit of support. But again, not all support is good support. I'll give you an example. When I was younger, I was supported. I had a lot of support actually, but you know, we always use the term like this little bad kid or this little bad person or whatever the case may be. And we come from a community and a surrounding that, this bad word is not necessarily bad in the sense of how we deliver it. But if you really put it in context, are you saying that this little boy bad? Because I was always a little badass Cody. You know what I'm saying? But when you put it in context, you talk about little badass, excuse me, little bad Cody, little bad this, little bad that. That's what you feed in this person. So eventually that person will believe what you feed in them. So the information that you give off to people, it's about the power of the tongue. Whether they receive it or not, it don't matter. It's how you deliver that information. So if you constantly calling the kid or even the dog, you constantly calling them names, calling them out their name or whatever the case may be, eventually they're gonna believe that. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about how are you supporting people? Where do your support come from, and how are you supporting others? So that's very important. You got to be able to help people and guide people and push people to be their best, not their worst. Because simply just telling somebody, again, we're speaking on you, it's simply just telling them that they're bad. In all reality, it's not that that person is bad. It's just that person is misguided, right? So we have to look at it real different, right? You know, if you're a teacher or if you anybody, you see somebody in the community and they're responding in a way that you don't agree with, that person isn't necessarily bad. It's misguided is a potential. But if you don't have a conversation with that person, then how would you know if they're being guided in the right direction, in the right way, if they're being talked to? There's a whole social and emotional aspect to life that we tend to skip over if it's not us. If it's us, we drowning in our sorrow and whatever we're dealing with, and we want everybody to feel sorry for us. But how are you feeling sorry for them? Because we start with the youth, right? Young people, right? How you feed them is how they eat, right? They don't have the ability to get things on themselves. They can't go get a job. They can't buy their own clothes. They can't do any of that, right? How are you supporting them, right? And what are you feeding them in their mind? Are you encouraging them? Are you pushing them to be great? This is important, man. Like we have to really like change how we do things. Some things might not seem that bad to you, but in all actuality, certain things that people get right now, it might not affect them right now in the immediate, right? It might affect them down the line. So I think that, as far as being supportive to others and getting that support, we have to understand what that look like. And you have the bad support, you have the good support. Well, what is bad and what is good? Well, I would say the bad because I just made mention of the word bad or whatever. It's just kind of how we deliver that. But the negative, let's just say the negative and the positive support. So the negative support is just a group of people surrounded an individual just giving them bad advice. And it's not always that the advice is bad because of who's delivering it. It's oftentimes bad because of how it's being delivered, right? And we got to again change the narrative of how we speak life into these young people and these adults because how you do anything is normally how you do everything. So we got to make sure that we speaking life into people, that we supporting people. And when I mean by support, I mean everything. If somebody got a business, support them. They're not obligated to give you a discount on nothing. All right, because if your friend owns a restaurant, if Joe Blow own a restaurant and you've known Joe Blow for 10 years, and you go into this restaurant, you just automatically think that Joe Blow is supposed to give you a discount. Well, that's not the case. Because if you go into this restaurant, this popular restaurant, and I don't really want to say no names of any restaurants, but if you go to one that's popular and got the commercials and things like that, you're not going to ask nobody for a discount. You're going to pay exactly what they're asking you. So why is it that we feel that, we have to support other people versus our own people? Like, we got to kind of, change our way of thinking in that regard. We have businesses and people have bills, the B's and the B's, businesses and bills. You can't expect for this person to give you a discount on anything because this person has to still stay afloat. All right. So that's one form of, just, support or whatever the case may be. Then you got what's supposed to be positive support. You have these professionals, and I'm just be real. You got professionals that's really kicking these kids while they're down. And I guess I'm bouncing from kid to adult, but the children are our future, and those are the ones that we need to really speak life into. And you got professionals, and I've seen it. I'm not just speaking. I'm not just speaking out of turn. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. You have these professionals that immediately give up on kids, and that's not why we got in these positions, to give up on anybody, because just one person, all it takes is one person to believe in you and to push you forward in order for you to be successful. So success relies on the support that you're getting from others. And that's very important. I have a story about myself, and this is real, real, very, 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 very important because um half the people that helped me get through don't even realize they were that light for me to be able to be successful at all. When people think that you got it together, you don't. I was in high school, and I'm from Miami, Florida. And in my high school years, I spent in Gainesville, Florida. And and it's crazy because out of all the people that really know me don't really understand why I was there, right? Long story short, how can I make this long story short? Long story short, I got in some trouble. I had to end up going to Gainesville, and I was literally living. Um, I was literally there, just surviving. There's a few other situations now that don't want to get into the details in that, but by the time I was 15 years old, I was literally fending for myself. So I was in Gainesville by myself with no family, right? So no family, only have friends, right? So that support system was real. Shout out to Derek, shout out to Shaq, shout out to everybody, Coach James, Coach Scott, um, Mickey Rawls. And that's really important because I've gained a mentor. Through that process, I gained a mentor. And at a certain point, I thought it was really over for me. But I was still trying to figure it out. And this one guy, I did have support all the way around me, but this one guy really took a liking to me, and that was Mickey Ross. And he took me up under his wing and refused to let me fail. And for that, I'm forever grateful because he showed me a side of life that I always was interested in seeing and that I wanted to be a part of in a sense. And I wanted to grow as a man, but I just didn't have the tools. Again, just misguided. But it's not no fault of anybody. It's not no fault of anybody else's. It's just the cards that I was dealt. I had to be able to deal. I had to be able to play that hand. And in playing that hand and playing it the right way, I was able to get, certain resources that other people wasn't privy to. I was an athlete. That helped me too. That ball was in my court as well. But you have these individuals that seeking to help push this young man and help him grow, right? And help him become something because, it's not all about the glitz and glamours of life. Most people try to get through life, but don't know how to get to the next stage in life. So who are those that's supposed to be supporting these young people, right? Those are the teachers. Those are the mentors. Those are the counselors. Those are the pastors. And those are the friends. We need to keep an eye on who we call friends, who these young people are hanging out with, and what are their interests. We have to tap into certain interests that we see so that we can know how to support these people. We can't just think that we can support people based on our own past solely. Yeah, that's a good, map to follow, but at the same time, everybody got their own path. Everybody have different interests. So what interests you might not interest the next person. So how, because the support that you had in your way helped you in that way, it's not going to necessarily help that person. It's a good roadmap to follow, but we got to understand how to support these kids and how to support each other as adults as well. It used to be a time where, we was a real community. Now, we live in certain communities. We can't even, we don't even know our next door neighbor. Like we don't even take the time to speak to our next door neighbor. We got to start, first of all, um, not during the pandemic, but when it's over and all that, we got to start getting out of the house. We got to start being more active when it comes to sports. We got to be more vocal as it, what do we want, and we got to see like what do other people want. It's because life is not all about us, and that's one of the biggest misconceptions that we make because it's kind of like we don't reach out to people until we need that person. But what about the space in between? Real life is going on right now. A lot of people are struggling mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. A lot of people are struggling. So what are you doing to be that support system? Sometimes we just want an ear, just to kind of be able to express ourselves. Some people don't have the means to get, a life coach or the means to get a counselor, and when they don't have that, is that like why is that a negative for them? Why can't they be able to, verbalize and vocalize what it is that they're going through? Why can't they express themselves in the manner that they need to? Why can't they have a safe space to be able to just release? Because oftentimes that's all we need. Pressure busts pipes, and the more we hold this stuff in, the more we're going to continue to struggle. And then guess what? What happens is, when that pressure builds up, it explodes. And then when it explodes on the wrong person. So now we're dealing with a whole nother case of situation. Now we're dealing with, possible legal issues or, getting fired off a job or getting kicked out of school or all of these things. It's important to be an outlet. It's important for us to be light to other people, not hating on nobody because of what they got or we want, what they have. So instead of us encouraging them or speaking life into them, like, man, that's dope. How did you get that? I want it too. We rather sabotage people, not support them, just so we can get our own. And at the end of the day, this is a whole big world out here. Opportunities for everybody, and we all can succeed. But we all have to support each other in every aspect of life, in personal, in business, socially, in relationships, and especially health. Like we got to encourage ourselves to start eating better. Now, I'm the pot calling the kettle black. I do way better than most, but I'm not exactly there where I need to be in terms of the health aspect. But I try, and I got friends, I got colleagues, I got all these individuals, the support system, which I call the advisory board, that pushes me and encourages me. I got some of my friends just cussing me out every time. That they'll cuss me out when I ain't doing right, which is cool. You gotta have that, and you gotta have tough skin to be able to accept that and take that. When you're not doing right, you got to have the people around you to make sure that you're doing that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have those type of people around you, you need to reevaluate your circle. That advisory board needs to be an advisory board for positive support, not negative support, positive support. If you're in a relationship, men, I'm just keep it real. If you're in a relationship, if you well, if you're in a relationship, right, and you have friends that's encouraging you to do things outside of what would be viewed as acceptable, start reevaluating how you move, man. And that's just being real, because that was a good segue into how we need to be treating our women. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. I ain't looking down on nobody, period. But at the end of the day, when are we going to change the narrative as to how we treat our women? Because if you pay attention, they're not being treated right at all on no aspect, right? So, you have good people out there. I'm not shitting on anybody, and excuse my language, but I'm not talking against anybody, but we have to change the narrative and support them. If you just kind of think about it, well, that's a whole nother topic. I'll get into that later. Um, but again, the support, man, we have to make sure that we're doing that. It's support. It's imperative. And truthfully, if I'm really being real with you, it's a matter of life and death. Because when people feel like they aren't being supported, that put them into a very, very negative space. So when they feel like they don't have anybody around them that they can talk to, who do they talk to? Themselves? Sometimes that happens. Most times they hold it in. What does that create? That creates an emotional disturbance, which will push people into a deep depression. And that is more common than not. And we have to really recognize that and be there to support people. Sometimes people don't want you know, we have to support people. And those people that hold those things in and the pressure bust pipes, guess what happens to the people that hold this in because they don't have that support system, or they don't have people that they can actually talk to or verbalize what it is that they're going through? What happens is their support system and their coping mechanism ends up being substance, right? What I mean by substance, they turn into the alcohol, or they turn into the drugs, or they turn into, promiscuous activity, right? That's not healthy for nobody, right? Because they're using that as an outlet. But when they have that advisory board, or when they have that advisory board of people that they can actually talk to, guess what happens? They are able to release. Remember that pressure I was talking about that burst pipes? They don't have an opportunity to burst any pipes if they have an opportunity to release that to somebody, right? So, without dragging, on and on and on, I just really want to just put that out there. Like, what is your support come from? Like, identify that. And if it's not coming from the right places, just reevaluate your situation and make the smart decision. Again, I'm not here to judge nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect by no means, but one thing about me is I continue to grow every single day, and I will hope that you choose to grow every single day, because if you're not growing, then that means that you're being stagnant. And if you're being stagnant, then there's no success that could come from that. And when I mean success, I'm not talking about financial success. I'm talking life success, okay? In the PBSRH, the personal, business, social, relationship, and health. All those aspects of life, we have to grow. And if we're not growing, then our growth is actually being stunted. So we have to do a little bit better. So remember, be that support, be that light for other people. Make sure that you're trying to unlock your greatness, because we all are great. We just have to unlock that. All right, we have the potential to be the best people that's walking the face of this earth, but we have to believe that, number one. But we also have to make sure that we're trying to grow every single day. We can't do the same things as an adult that we were doing when we was in high school. I mean, it's just, come on, man, let's do better. You understand what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I'm gonna leave y'all with that. So remember, just find positive support. Be that positive support. You see somebody going through something, help them. Don't, whether you like them or not. Because oftentimes, I'm telling you, man, this stuff is a matter of life and death. I see it every day. And I'm not just saying that. I'm being real with you. So, again, I'm gonna leave y'all with that. And remember, before I go, hurt people, and heal people, heal people. Which side are you on?